Inside Boxing Throwdown. Steve, when we cut for the break, we were talking about Amir Khan.
Yes.
And him just his selection of Virgil for his trainer and all that good stuff. And you know, like I said before the break, is I'm as a former Amir Khan enthusiast, I was basically someone that was basically on his bandwagon, you might say. Okay, I'm done with that. I don't think he turned out to be the fighter that we thought he was going to be. I don't think we can compare him like I at once thought we would with the Prince Nassim. I don't think he's even close to that. And by his selection of Virgil as his trainer, this is what kind of kicked me off the bus. I says, basically, I think he picked a trainer that's going to be a yes trainer, okay, and it's not going to help him improve. It's not going to help him do what he needs to do in boxing. He basically got a trainer that's going to be
a yes man.
A yes person. Okay, this is what do you want to do today? You want to run today? What do you want to do today? You know, and that's not what Amir Khan needs right now, and that's exactly what he got. And the proof in the pudding is by him selecting McCloskey as his next stake. So basically, we're going to see Amir Khan get into a bunch of club level fights because he thinks he's going to need more experience. It's not going to work, Steve. It's not going to work. So,
no, I disagree with that. I think that Virgil Hunter is an excellent trainer, and the fact that he has Andre Ward as his lead boxer right now in his stable, I don't think that he's going to be that yes man.
Well, yeah, I do. Andre Ward is in the same category of Manny Paquiao. Manny Pacquiao, you can't contribute his success to Freddie Roach. There's just no way. I think Freddie Roach assisted him and did exactly what he wants, but the difference is Manny Paquiao knows how to train. He knows what he has to do, and he has Freddie Roach there to do it for him. Same thing with Andre. He knows what he has to do. He knows how to train. He knows what it takes to be an elite champion, and he has Virgil there to help him do that.
Okay.
This is a different situation. Amir Khan doesn't know how to train. He doesn't know what it takes to be an elite fighter. He needs a trainer that's gonna force him to do that. And when you're paying someone the big money to be the trainer, then basically yes, he'll be a yes man.
I hope you're wrong. I hope you're wrong just for the fact of Virgil Hunter, because I think if that shows to be the case, I think his credibility goes down.
No, I take the money.
Oh yeah, well.
And you take the money. That's good money, you know. And you know, you try to pound it in his head, but unless Amir Khan is willing to accept that he needs a major improvement, he needs different views, then that's what then that's what it's going to turn him around, and I don't see him doing that. I don't. Just by these actions that's happened now, I don't see that happening.
Well, with that opinion, I agree with that. I don't think that there's anything that can help Amir Khan. I think that, you know, the die has already been cast on him. I don't think it's any secret. Everyone knows that once he gets hit, that he's got problems. McCloskey's not going to hit him.
Yep.
You know, and so I think that Virgil Hunter will guide him along in the next couple of fights. It'll be, like you said, possible club fighters.
Well, let's move on to the subject that I know people want to hear about, and that's all this talk about USA boxing now. Now, Steve, I'm going to ask you a question because I need you to enlighten the guest out there. USA boxing has been a very poor performing organization when it comes to Olympic presence in the Olympics as far as boxing is concerned. It's been a long time that USA has had anyone representing us that the fight fans can get excited about. I think the last guy to win a gold was Andre Ward, wasn't it?
Yes.
So I mean, it's gone from a high where year after year we were the dominant force in Olympic boxing to now we become subpar to everybody else. So we had a lot of turmoil in USA, especially with the personnel that's in there now. The former president, Hal Adonis, of course, was, and you'll have to correct me because I don't know the specific details. I just know what we read and what we hear, but basically because of comments he was making toward the female boxers. He got in hot water, and thus was outcasted as president. But then, because he has his little group within the group of USA Boxing, they even though they outcasted him as president, that group was powerful enough to vote him in to stay in on the board of directors. Well, from what I understand, I don't know, but I'm gonna let you go ahead and fill us in on that. So basically, they kept the rotten apple in the basket. Mm-hmm. Okay, and I'm talking about if you got a fruit, a basket of apples, and you get a rotten one, well, you really, instead of having it as president, and you got to get rid of it so that things can kind of go in a different direction. And I understand that the new president, Dr. Charles Butler, and
executive director
Anthony Barkowski are really putting a strong effort forward to make some changes that are going to work. So, just I know you're up on the issue, so kind of let our audience know exactly what happened, where it's at, how the Olympic Committee just basically didn't slap him on the hand anymore, just gave him an ultimatum, and how that all worked.
Yeah, well, like you said, we at InsideBoxing.com have been very aggressive in finding out what was going on within the inner workings, and we were able to pin down what, as you say, the rotten apple. The rotten apple was Hal Adonis, the former president of USA Boxing. He had his group of cronies consisting of Gary Pliner, Reggie Winston, and Kimberly Stowe, Joe Zanders, and Ron Sims, who did everything possible to try to alienate the inner group of Inside Boxing, which at that time was the board of directors. The board of directors effectively had a vote, and they voted Hal Adonis out as president of USA Boxing. Okay, and they elected AIBA representative Dr. Charles Butler as the president of USA Boxing. Strangely enough, Aurelio, the way Colorado law is written, even though Hal Adonis was voted out as the USA Boxing president, his position as a member of the board of directors was maintained because of a vote by the LBC, the local boxing committees around the country. Their representatives voted him on to remain as a member of the board of directors. As Aurelio said very correctly, having that one rotten apple to remain in there, he was able to once again have his little group that have some form of power. But that was all brought to a stop just in the past week when the USOC president, who was Scott Blackman, stepped in and made an ultimatum to USA Boxing. And that was that effective December 31st, this board of directors that they have now in power is completely gone. They're going to elect what they're calling an advisory board, which will be approved by the USOC and Scott Blackman and the USOC board of directors.
Now this was a condition, right?
This was a condition.
This was a condition.
This was a condition for USA Boxing to remain an organization, or they would be decertified, okay. Which means that they would be completely done. USOC would step in and completely take over USA Boxing. Okay, so that effectively has gotten rid of the rotten apple, Hal Adonis and his group of cronies. They are no longer a factor, okay, in USA Boxing. This allows Dr. Charles Butler, the new president, and Anthony Barkowski, the executive director, to move forward with what they think is the best way for this organization to thrive. And in addition to that, with the blessings of AIBA and the United States Olympic Committee, Aurelio, I see this being nothing but a win-win situation.
Okay, so we're going to have, or I should say, USA Boxing is going to have a temporary advisory board. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
And they will oversee it for 1 year, right?
But it'll be almost a year. They'll take over December 31st and it'll go to December 21st of 2013.
And then the new permanent...
Well, they'll elect a new a board of directors at that point.
Which will become permanent, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So basically this year is basically, they're bringing this, I hate to use temporary, but that's basically what it is, to get things back in working order.
Yes, well, the primary function of this advisory board is going to be to make sure that financially This is the problem that they have. First of all, is that financially is that they get squared away, along with getting back to, basically in a nutshell, USA Boxing is going to have to be run as a business. They're going to have to run as a business, and the first thing is you, as a business, you get your financial situation in order, okay, without any outside influence, and that's what we have now is that, there's too much inner bickering. And since USOC was able to establish an AIBA, in their opinions, which I agree with, is that inner bickering was never going to be able to be resolved as long as Haladonis was part of the mix. So you get him out of the mix, Gary Pliner, Angel Villarreal, all of that, what we refer to in InsideBoxing.com as the Wisconsin connection, that is all going to be dissolved. There will be no Colorado connection. There will be no connections. Everything is going to be dissolved. They'll start fresh.
Okay, good. Now talking about Dr. Charles Butler.
Yes.
Okay, they've actually started doing some things to change into what they feel was going into a positive direction. One of them, of course, was naming Dr. Roque Ortano as the
international teaching coach.
International teaching coach, which means he's going to be the head person, right?
Yes. We're teaching.
I think most people took that as a positive move, but we at Inside Boxing received a lot of comments and emails of some people that were not happy with that decision. We received comments of, why can't we get an American to fill that position? Do we not have anyone qualified? These are some of the things that we're hearing, and that's why we were very persistent in trying to get to an interview with
Dr.
Roque himself, and from what I understand, is our persistency has become fruitful.
Yes, and Aurelio, just as you intimated earlier, that's exactly it. There's no doubt some coaches in the United States that are more than qualified to handle that. I would say right off the bat, Al Mitchell, was the coach that has the experience. He and Bashir Abdullah both have Olympic experience, and they could have handled that. But once again, the resume that Dr. Roque Ortano has, I think any organization around the country would have been excited to have him say that he wanted to be a part of their program. He's instituted this technique, which is part of his background. This man has 4 master's degrees.
Okay. Now, okay, you seem to be in favor of all that, which is fine because you're probably with the majority. Okay, but let me just kind of throw something in the loop and play the devil's advocate. Did not Haladonis and company try to do similar thing by bringing the guy over from Europe, which had great credentials as well?
You're talking about Terry Edwards?
Yeah.
From
England? Did they try to do something very similar to that? To what done?
No.
And it was shot down.
No.
It didn't work.
No, they wanted to bring Terry Edwards in as the U.S. Olympic boxing coach.
Okay, well,
similar. There's a big difference. Roque Ortano was brought in as the international teaching coach, which is specifically meant to have his international experience, incorporate that into USA Boxing's program. Dr. Roque Ortano is not going to be the USA Boxing coach. He's the teaching coach. Okay, that position will probably go to an American as the head coach.
Well, and I think that's what needs to be clarified, because myself, like a lot of people out there, kind of get a little confused. Say, well, wait a minute, what's good for the goose? Why isn't it good for the gander? And them explanations need to be put out there. So,
well, once again, I'm glad that you took that role as the devil's advocate, because once again, Haladonis bringing anyone in, there are strings attached to that situation. Okay, and my opinion is that with Dr. Butler and with Anthony Barkowski, there are no strings. I mean, this is something that this man, Dr. Roque Ortano, being a Cuban defector, he chose the United States as a team because of his affiliations. Okay, with AIBA and Dr. Butler, that he felt that he could, since he was welcomed with open arms, he feels that he can help turn this thing around. And like I said, once again, with his resume, with his experience, and once again, he has 4 master's degrees, and all of these master's degrees deal with psychology involving young people.
Okay.
And with this age now that we have, with our young boxers, we need to have someone that has that experience who understands the, thinking of young people, incorporate into the program, and then you let your boxing coach, from, on the national level, incorporate as we get to the Olympics. That's something down the road.
Good, but we want you all to stay tuned because we are going to have Dr. Roque Ortano on the show here. He will be in studio, and you don't have to take Steve's word, my word, or your friend's coach's word, or anyone else's word. He's going to be here. We're going to ask him these questions, and we're going to let him tell us how he feels he's going to be able to turn this program around. We're going to ask him about the controversy and the quotes that have been attached to him regarding female boxers when he was back in, I guess, a Cuban coach. So don't listen to anyone. You're going to be able to listen to him. Okay, we're going to take that, and that segment of Inside Boxing Throwdown should be available Friday, this Friday. So you will all want to be able to tune in, take a listen to him, make your comments, because they'll be watching, they'll be listening, they'll be reading all your comments. They want to hear from you. I'm sure they do. So we're going to ask him. Let's let him explain to us and everybody else what he's going to do, the whys and the whats and all that good stuff. So we want you to come back and listen to that segment, and we'll also talk a little bit more about our professional boxing, about our Brandon Rios, our hometown kid, Mike Alvarado. Very exciting.
And just before we go, don't forget, for you local boxing fans, October 6th, over at Lightning Lonnie Smith Learning Center, right there off of 30th and Madison. Lonnie and Aurelio once again put together a nice amateur card that should be exciting for amateur boxing fans here in Denver to see. And that will be taped, as Aurelio said, and on the website for everyone to get a chance to view.
If you're local here, you've got to go support this show. Everyone knows amateur boxing, but this amateur boxing is highlighting the elite open class boxers amateur style. These kids are 15, 16, and 17. They got a future ahead of them. We need to show them support that, hey, we do want to see who our good amateurs are. The Texas team is coming in to challenge the Colorado team. Okay, if we're successful in this, it's not a whole lot of money. $10 to get in, $15 if you want to sit on the floor seating, $10 general admission. You guys need to support this. This Saturday, show starts at 4:30 at Lonnie's Learning Center. That's at the corner of 31st and Madison. 31st and Madison Streets. I need you to all support this because in the works, we want to continue to do these kind of amateur events that are different from what we're used to seeing in the amateur scene. We want to highlight our graduating elite fighters. So this happens. Next, we may do a tri-state, bringing in Utah, New Mexico, who knows where, but we want to continue this whole process, Steve.
Yes, I agree. And I myself am looking forward to the session with Dr. Roque Ortano because for the benefit mainly of our women boxers around the country, to hear in his own words. And like I said, for you people, I want you to pay special attention. This segment, we're going to do 2 segments. One will be with Aurelio and Dr. Ortano in Spanish, and then we'll come back. I'll join in and I'll ask questions in English and let Aurelio, interpret in Spanish so that we can make sure that everyone gets to hear the opinions of Dr. Roque Ortano.
Very good. Well, Steve, with that, we want you all to stay tuned, and don't forget to come back Friday to watch this, our show. And in the meantime, Steve,
hey, as usual,
keep them hands up.